welcome back to TNI UK Impacted episode 234, coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. We are there. I am, of course, your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the boss, simply known as J Bone. All right, boss.
What is up? I'm not the boss, man. I just I humbly and quietly lead my best to make sure the channel's in good shape and good health, and I just kind of let you guys do your own thing. I haven't watched in a little bit, but I trust you guys. You guys have done a phenomenal job over the last handful of years, whatever it is, 4 years, 5 years. It's
been a while.
Man, it's been a bit.
It has. Been a while.
So, man, lots of stuff happening lately in TNA. Holy crap.
Loads and loads of stuff. So I'll tell you what. How have you been? You been good?
I've been good. I've been busy. I had a bad bout with the COVID a while back, and I was down for a few weeks, but yeah, I'm finally back to about 100%. Back to work, running the shows, running helping run the Rambler show as well. If you guys don't know, I do Ramblers Unleashed on once a week. So yeah. Busy bone.
Cool.
Busy bone.
The busy bone. The busy bone. Hey, at this point, I normally like to say hello to people in the chat. They certainly have joined us already. We've got Barry is already with us. Barry Monkey, hello, buddy. Mir is obviously joined us. Mir is always the first, and he's always ready to pick me up on any mistake that I make, because I do make quite a few here and there. And a quick hello to Courtney. She's joined us from the top of the show as well, which is unusual, actually. So it's good to see Courtney right at the top of the show. She normally joins us sort of a little way in, but it's great to see you from the top of the show. Don't forget, guys, if you are in the chat, Eric is obviously joined us as well. But if you are in the chat, make sure that you give us a quick hello, and we do appreciate you guys joining us. Remember what I always say, is this show is just as much about you, the TNA fan, as it is about us, who obviously are here to entertain you, hopefully. Just basically talking about what we all love. So it's all a collective. So I really hope that you guys leave us some messages and give us your point of view on any of the stuff that we're about to talk about. But listen, Jay, this is the point where I literally talk about the news rumors. Normally I would do an Impact recap of the week, but it's a bit pointless because we've had Against All Odds kind of after that, so we're not going to do that this week. It's a bit pointless, but we will then go into Against All Odds once we get there. So 4 TNA stars have been announced for AAA Triplemania, which goes on June 15th at the Arena Monterrey. You've got the TNA X Division title on the line in a 4-way that includes Moose, Joe Hendry versus El Mesias and Dr. Wagner Jr. Plus, we're going to get the AAA tag titles on the line. And, of course, that will be with our very own TNA, of course, tag champs, the Nemeths brothers involved. I think both of the matches are going to be pretty badass. What are your thoughts, Jay?
Oh, I love to see it. It's great because you also have the connection with WWE, so it's going to be an authentic show, but I think it's going to have a bigger feel to it, and to see just everyone involved between TNA and WWE and AAA in this international event, it's going to be a lot of fun. I tell you what, the face-off I want to see is Moose and El Mesias. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but
yeah,
man, that name goes way back.
Oh yes, it's going to be very, very interesting. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see what the dynamic is with Joe Hendry being in there for the X Division tag title, which is interesting. I think that Moose is going to come out on top, but the interesting one for me, in reality, is are we going to see the Nemeth brothers become champ, and bring the AAA title back to TNA?
You know what? As much as I don't, like what they're doing lately, and they're kind of shady ways lately, I gotta say, I'd love to see another pair of belts on her. Yeah, make it happen.
I think it would look great, and then
I think it's very possible.
Yeah, so do I. I think at the end of the day, you're talking about Nick Nemeth there. You're talking about a former WWE talent, and obviously, that they wanted to pick specific people. I would imagine to go to Triplemania, and that's who they picked. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what they do with them. I'm hoping. Obviously, Moose retains. I'm really hoping Moose retains, which I'm pretty sure he will. I can't see them putting a belt on a AAA talent or Joe at this point. We'll talk about that a little bit later with regards to Joe and where we think he's heading. But I think there is a strong possibility that we could see the Nemeth brothers becoming the AAA champs, and we got the champ. Can you imagine the amount of boasting we're going to get from Ryan Nemeth about him and his big brother?
Oh, it's good. The bragging rights are going to be off the charts.
Exactly, absolutely. Now, one other thing I was going to talk about is Killer Kelly and the Inspiration already have new shirts up on the TNAmerch.com, plus more new shirts for Santana.
Nice.
And you can now also get the Carlos Silva, of course, the man, TNA trucker hat, which is also available. The one that he's had done like in basic font, etc. That is now available to buy. If you want to look like the boss, you want to look like the chairman, then there you go. You can get your TNA, wrestling trucker Carlos Silva's hat available on TNA merch. But what I was going to say was that
did they actually put that hat up there?
Yes, it's actually up there. I think Bill's ordered it. I'm sure I saw Bill post something about ordering it. Yeah, I think people are going to buy it. Like, you could go and get it done yourself probably for less, but there you go. But their merch is really, they seem to be proper on top of their merch game right now. I mean, they brought back the brown bag 5 mystery shirts for $43. Which is awesome as well. I'm actually thinking of doing that. The only thing that worries me is I don't want to get like a load of talent that aren't there anymore. That would sort of kind of piss me off. But I don't know. Oh, quick hello to Punk and Hassan have turned up as well. Good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. So it's good to see you.
Thanks for the super chat, Punk. Appreciate it, brother.
Yes. He does like to show his appreciation, does Punk. So it's good to have you guys with us today. Well done, thank you. Okay, so I think they're proper on top of the merch game right now. I mean, when you think, 2 or 3 years ago, it was an absolute joke, wasn't it? Absolute joke. Things seem to be looking up. So have you bought any stuff lately, Jay?
Just a lot of figs, honestly. I've got what's the latest one I got? This one. I've been showing this one off. I got a good price online for it because I didn't want to buy the Ted DiBiase. I only wanted the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm trying to do this without the glare.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
That's the ultimate. So that'll be I'm trying to clean up the background here.
Have you got a Steve Blackman one?
Steve what?
Steve Blackman, the Ultimate Weapon.
No, that's weapon. That's one I do not have. I tell you what,
I was such a mark.
I would love to see. I would love to see a custom, and I'll bet you someone would make like the head for it, because there's guys out there that just do the head. So all you gotta do is pop a head on a figure, and I'll bet you it's out there.
Yeah, because if you remember, he was quite generic as well, because his trunks was his trousers were like those quite baggy trousers with black boots. They were black with black boots, and then he had the black belt because he was a martial arts expert, wasn't he? He was the Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman. I used to love him. He was he looked like one of the one of the Mortal Kombat characters. Kano. He looked like Kano, if you remember. But yeah, no, he was great.
That is one guy that's like you don't I don't think anyone like has heard from him. Like, you never see any stories about him. He's been really low on the radar.
Yeah, he's just once he was sort of kind of gone, he was gone, and that was the end of it. But he was like one of my favorites, man. I used to love when Steve Blackman came out. He was fucking awesome. But there you go.
Didn't he have a classic match with like Shane McMahon or something?
Oh God, you know what? I can't. It's so far back now. I can't remember, because he was a late 90s.
They were climbing up a scaffold, which was like 50 feet in the air, and Blackman went up after him with a kendo stick and just kept cracking Shane.
That is it. Yeah, that was class.
Like 50, yeah.
That was a fantastic.
That's
match.
Like the one thing I remember, and just his, you know.
Yeah, Blackman was amazing. I just loved Steve Blackman. Anyway, totally digressed. Norris Sparks, yeah, hardcore match probably. Yeah, definitely. He was up there with the hardcores without doubt. He was a badass. It's also been announced recently that Elijah and Joe Hendry are on a media tour in Pittsburgh in June. That would be on the 17th and 18th. So if you're in the area, guys, if you're from Pittsburgh, keep your eyes peeled, because you never know who is going to say his name and where he obviously will appear. But it's good to see. It's good to see a couple of top names getting out there and doing the work to make sure we get as much exposure as possible. That's obviously one of the things. It is one of the most important things that any of the talents can do for TNA right now, especially talents like Joe, with the amount of popularity that they've got right now. Regardless of whether you like him or whether you don't, at the end of the day, the dude is over like the Rover. He's proper over, man. Hey, Paul, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us. But there you go. Now, Against All Odds will be re-airing for free tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Did you know that, Jay?
I did hear about that. That's nice. Yeah.
I think it's good, because I think they're doing some sort of rerun thing with Impact as well. Or I think it's airing for free on YouTube on Fridays. Am I right in thinking?
That could be. I've not heard that. But yeah. Yeah,
I think they're doing it on Twitch again. I think it's airing on Twitch and on YouTube. I don't think it's on Facebook, but it's on Twitch and YouTube. I believe a rerun from the Thursday night on Friday night for free. So you don't necessarily have to have the TNA app to be able to watch it. If you can't obviously watch it on Access TV. But what I do think is it's a good way of trying to get the casuals to watch something without having to pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at that time, if you can get them, you get them watching the show and getting into what's going on in the show, and then they're able to watch it for nothing. They're going to, and then when it isn't available anymore because we've moved on to a big network or something, or or they want to keep it in, they want to put it back on the app, and people will be like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to sign up for the app, and you're gonna get more buys again. I don't know, but I think it's a good thing. We've got to get those casual eyes on TNA right now. And I think we're getting there. There is no doubt about it. I wish I knew what the sort of kind of the viewership was, but you just don't. You just don't know, which is a shame, because it'd be nice to know what the viewership is live over TNA Plus and Access TV, and where in the US. It'd be very interesting to know, because it's got to be breaking 200,000-300,000 a week. Got to be.
You'd like to think it is. I tell you what I like more, honestly, is just seeing them playing these bigger venues. So then they're set up for like a few thousand seats, and it's great to see more, more butts in seats, and it just makes the show feel bigger all around,
If more people are going to watch it, there's got to be more people watching it on TV. There's got to be.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that when they go and do a 2,500-3,000 seater, all those people get in there, they sell out the arenas, and they're packing the arenas out, right? That people aren't watching Impact. You can't. They must be watching it somehow. I'm very interested to know what those sort of viewership figures are now, because it's got to at least doubled, if not tripled, from say 18 months ago. At least.
You'd like to think so, yeah. It's all going to help get them put on a better network in the long run. I know that is the goal, so for those that are have been saying it for years and years, that's why they've got all these new people in place in the office to try to, get the bigger venues, get more people involved, and you've got the people that are used to doing that stuff for businesses. So
exactly, the people they're bringing in are experienced within that field, as opposed to former wrestlers who aren't experienced in that field. And it's a shame. Some of these guys had to go, but you can understand exactly why. But Paul, there is still no dates that have been announced for After Slam, but I would imagine that will come in the next couple of weeks. I think they're going to focus probably over this set of tape-ins. They'll probably focus more on that build up to Slam than anything else. But I'm sure it'll be announced certainly very, very soon. Okay, so this week on NXT, I like to call it that, NXT, because I only really worry about the NXT, the TNA stuff. But so I'll have a quick rundown on what went down this week. So we got First Class Cross Pass with Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura, if that's how you say it, as they set their sights on the NXT Tag Team Championships. Meanwhile, Elijah confronted First Class after AJ Francis cost him the TNA World Championships against Trick Williams last Friday against All Odds. So it was all very much kind of like backstage promo-based stuff that happened this week. But again, it doesn't. It's a great thing to see that they are dedicating. There's got to be, out of that lot there's got to be at least a good 10-15 minutes worth of time dedicated to TNA at that point, whether there was a match or not. That's a good 10 minutes worth of TV time promoting TNA, and I think that is fantastic to see. Punk said he'd like to see TNA Impact on CW. The only trouble with CW, and if I'm right in thinking, CW is a family channel, right?
It is, but NXT is doing really well on there from what I hear. I haven't heard numbers or nothing, but I've heard nothing but positive. So I think it would be a possibility in the future, depending on
It would potentially work as well, because if you've got the majority of the collaborations going on between NXT and Impact, if both, and you're crossing over stuff, storylines and stuff, then you're almost able to you're accessing TNA to the same fan base as NXT, right? So they can watch NXT, they can see all that shit that's going down, and then they could watch Impact and see how that all pans out as well. I think the only issue that they've got at the moment is with because am I right in thinking NXT's live?
It is for the most, but most of the time I think it is live. Yeah, sometimes they pre-tape it depending on schedule and holidays and whatever, but most of the time it is.
Okay, so then it may lead to TNA having to go live more often. Again, I've always said I don't understand. They should go live for the first Thursday of every set of tapings. So if they do like say 4 weeks worth of content, or sorry,
Yeah.
they go in, they're going to do 4 weeks. So the first one for me should always be on a Thursday night and be live, and then they do the following 3 as taped, if that makes sense. I think if they did that, that would be great. I think I'd be so happy with something like that, like knowing that every fourth or fifth episode was going to be a live one. I think that would be awesome. And again,
it's got a different feel to it too.
Totally has, because it has that unpredictability about it, which is again what makes wrestling shows so fun to watch sometimes. I mean, as much as we can stay away from spoilers, if sometimes it's really, really difficult not to sort of kind of pick up the odd result here and there, which can spoil something or whatnot. Like if you're going to have people turn up and stuff like that, big surprises, you've got to save that for a special, or you've got to save it for a live. If it happens on a taping, then everybody knows about it and it sucks. It doesn't become such a surprise for the fan watching every week, unless they don't have access to the socials or whatever. But I don't know. But that's the only thing I would say, Punk, is for me. Maybe that is the reason that they're cutting down on some of the blood stuff that they've been talking about, and they're not going so kind of hardcore-y, because that's the sort of channel they're looking for. If they end up going on CW, then it's a family-based channel, so they can't necessarily go full on faces of blood and God knows what else. I mean, they could save that type of thing for the pay-per-views, you know what I mean, and don't put that on the weekly shows. But who knows. Now, during an interview with Sarah Schreiber, TNA World Champion Trick Williams bragged about his recent victories over Mike Santana and Elijah. Trick went on to reveal a big 6-man tag team match for next Tuesday on NXT. So we got Trick Williams and First Class. We'll be battling Elijah, Josh Briggs, and Yoshiki Inamura. So that's going to be interesting, I would imagine. And I like the way they've done that, because they've sort of kind of done obviously Trick NXT with First Class signed TNA talents, and then they've got Elijah signed TNA talent with 2 NXT signed talents. I quite like the way they've done that. I think that's going to work really, really well. Hey Terence, nice to see you, mate. Thanks for joining us. What do you think on that?
On what? I'm sorry, I was looking at something else.
Okay, on the 6-man tag they've got set up for next week. What I was saying was,
for next week. Oh yeah, that's great to see.
I think the way they've set it up,
it's interesting how
TNA talent with the NXT talent and the TNA talent with 2 NXT talents on the opposite sides. I think that works well.
Yeah, it's interesting how First Class has gotten involved in the title story, as in they're kind of backing up Trick, because you'd think, well, even put it this way, even the Nemeth brothers, who are considered to be probably one of the bigger heels in the company, even they're against Trick being champion, as far as someone from another company holding TNA's title. And so then you've got that attitude, and then you've got First Class, and they're all over Trick, like, let's do, we'll back him up. It's like, really?
You have to admit that the biggest heels in TNA right now has to be First Class. They are definitely got to be the biggest heroes. Do you agree with that? They are the biggest heels.
You were breaking up. I'm sorry.
Sorry, First Class. I said you have to agree that First Class are probably the biggest heels in the company right now.
Definitely. I would say that they're in the top. I mean, I would say even more honestly than the System, because even though the System is still doing system things, it seems like there is more of a focus on First Class, and I'm fine with that. I think what First Class is doing is great. I think AJ Francis is doing a great job, and I love seeing Casey Navarro. He's got a crap ton of charisma that he's kind of like that little annoying puppy that hangs onto the big bulldog, like in the classic cartoons, yipping around. That's what I kind of feel like he is.
Yep,
Yeah, exactly.
like the Jody Frat there.
Yeah, but it's a perfect combination. I love it, and the fact that they're with Trick is just, it makes Trick even more dangerous because now Trick's got backup. So it's like, oh great, now what?
Yeah. So one thing I've thought with AJ Francis was, the dude is got so much potential. It was crazy. I can't believe that he wasn't used better in WWE. And it's actually his in-ring ability is actually pretty good. He's actually pretty good in the ring, and I know that he took a lot of stick for the odd mistake he made early on in his career. But at the end of the day, these things happen. It really does. But I think it's really good to see him doing so well right now, and he proper bigs up TNA wherever he goes. So you cannot, you can't knock that. You can't knock that. But recently also, Nixon Newell, of course, former WWE Tegan Knox, stated she would prefer to sign with AEW over TNA. I was really shocked at that because I thought with a couple of Australian friends of hers over at TNA, she would have been very keen to join the Knockouts division. But I don't think she didn't say she wouldn't want to go to TNA. I think she was just saying that if she had a choice between the two, AEW would be a preferred destination. Well, let's face the facts here. If you are a professional wrestler and you are you've got a short career as a wrestler, shall we say, it's a short lifespan, right?
Potentially,
yeah, potentially. You've got to earn the most money you possibly can, and to be fair, rather than turn around and saying, oh, look at the talent over there, or look at this. It's not about the talent. It's about the paycheck. She's thinking to herself, well, you know what? I got a few injuries recently. I need to sign and get a big money deal, earn myself some money, and then if I get injured, it don't matter. You know what I mean? I don't know. She has been a bit injury prone, hasn't she? Even though she did that. I saw that promo she did where she was talking about she's not injury prone at all. She's just had a couple of bad injuries, which have taken her a while to get over. She's right. There's loads of talents out there that have had monstrous injuries. I mean, look at Motor City Machine Guns. Can't believe I've forgotten his name.
Not
Alex Shelley. Not Alex Shelley. The other one. Saban. Chris Saban, right? Yeah. Now look at Chris Saban. At the end of the day, he had one of the worst injuries you could possibly have, and he's back just as good, if not better than he ever was.
Amazing.
But how long did it take him to really get over that injury? Years and years. But then he came back. So it's all good. We'll have to wait and see. Ray UK is saying, when did Alan Angels leave TNA and re-sign with AEW? I don't think he did sign with Is he re-signed with AEW? Is he? I didn't think he had.
If he did, I'm not aware of it, but I haven't been watching AEW faithfully as I used to. So if he did, hey, whatever, it's cool. Congrats to him.
Good for him, but I don't think it was a case of he left TNA and then went because of AEW. I think his contract just ran out and they didn't renew it. It was just someone they decided they didn't need at that time. They were invested in other people. Why would you keep someone on your payroll you're not going to use? Exactly. They're bringing in other people. What's the point? You could spend that money on people you are going to use. But there you go. TNA release an incredible photo gallery from Against All Odds. It's via the TNAWrestling.com. So you want to go and check that out. That's really good. I have been seeing Kylan King once again has been releasing pictures and tweets of her looking great, in great shape, and it looks like she's set to make that return fairly soon now. In fact, her biceps look incredible. They're bigger than mine, I think. But yeah, she's doing well, bless her. And then talking about returns, obviously against all odds, we had the return of the incredible Killer Kelly and the Australian duo, of course, the IInspiration, who are hoping to inspire the Elegance brand by all accounts, but we'll get to that later. Good to see those guys back, and of course the Knockouts division is looking ridiculously good right now. I think we've gone from like a very thin Knockouts division to what I would class as quite a thick and healthy one in a couple of months. What are your thoughts on that, Jay?
Oh yeah, between the veterans that we see on the screen here and the new up and comers of Myla Grace and Harley Hudson, you've got what they call her now, M.
yeah.
For the artist formerly known as Maggie, I believe, being a part of the Elegance team now. Yeah, you've got all sorts of new and faces coming back to the Knockouts division. The Knockouts division has not looked this strong in a while. When you lose names, and I said this on the last show that I was on, when you lose names like Taya Valkyrie and you lose like Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace, among others, that's gonna sting. You got some holes some shoes to fill there. You got you gotta make new stars. You gotta put new people on TV, and totally. Build up new knockouts. But yeah, they got a great amount. Between the veterans like Tasha Steeles and Rosemary, they're doing great. We lost some others like Savannah, but yeah, the Knockouts division is doing great, and I don't think they're done, Bison. I think you're going to see more faces sooner rather than later. And just keep.
I agree. I agree.
If you want to know what I'm talking about, keep an eye on that show Explosion. If you want to know who they got their eye on for the future.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they got Viperous. I think she's definitely someone to watch. You've got. I wanted to see. I think it's Jada Stone. I think her name is. She's incredible. Also, I'd like Vicious Vicky. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big fan of Vicky Verdona. She is awesome. So I'd like to see her turn up as well on a contract. We had her on the show about a month or so ago. Wonderful lady, and we had a great chat with her, which was good. And I'll tell you, a tag team I'm interested in. I'm interested in the Samoa Twins.
Oh yeah, they were featured quite heavily on AEW. Are they not with them anymore?
I don't believe so. No, they're free agents. Now, interestingly enough,
I'm thinking. You know what? I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking.
Sorry, not the Samoa. They're called the Tonga Twins. I mean, that's who I mean. Sorry. The Tonga Twins.
You know what? They were on Wild Women of Wrestling, weren't they?
That's it. That's it. They're fantastic.
I was thinking of another set of twins that were on AEW, and I thought that's who you were talking about, but no.
I would love to see the Tonga Twins come in as a tag team into the Knockouts division, another decent tag team. I think they'd be fantastic. In fact, I'm currently in talks with one of them to get them on the show in the coming weeks. So watch this space. We might have the Tonga Twins on both at the same time, which would be really cool.
Nice.
So keep your eyes open on that. But I also know that TNA are looking at them. So that's why I want to get them on so we can have a little chat before TNA.
There you go.
Potentially sign them. So that would be really cool. But talking about Explosion, Jay. Now, after a pretty impressive showing by Channing Decker recently, JDC gets a win. And he gets a win over with a tap out, which was interesting. There's another one, Priscilla Kelly. She's very, very good. So yes, Channon Decker. Now, what do you think of this guy? Because I think he's bloody good.
I've heard that name a lot. I have not seen him wrestle though. Now he's from Canada, right?
He's a Canadian wrestler. He was on the he's been on Explosion a couple of times. And he was also on that Border Brawl show, I believe.
Okay.
I think he tagged with Eric Young, maybe, or I don't know, or he was seen with Eric Young or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But he was definitely on that show.
I need to check him out. That's a name I hear pop up every once in a while. And
very talented young man. Very, very talented. Like I said, a very impressive match on Explosion.
I'll take some time today and look up a few matches.
He's on obviously this past week's Explosion, this past Friday. So go and check it out on there. He's JDC, Perfect. Really good stuff. We then had a From the Vault match, which I find really interesting because it involved Brian Cage versus Killer Cross. Now, and what I'm finding interesting, obviously, from this is the Killer Cross thing. So, with regards to Killer Cross, obviously he came into Impact Wrestling. There was a bit of a ding dong. I don't know what went down, but I think Impact didn't want to give him the money he wanted, or he'd been promised, and he didn't get it in the time scale that he wanted. So he sort of kind of held TNA to ransom or whatever it was. I can't remember, or Impact to ransom. There was a bit of a thing. Anyway, he ends up being signed with WWE.
There was something, yeah.
He ends up being signed with WWE, and I think the guy can promo his ass off. He's great at promos, and very intriguing when it comes to self-promotion and stuff like that. He would be an interesting guy to have back on the roster. But I just thought it was interesting that all of a sudden they were featuring a Killer Cross in a match, but with some of the stuff that's been going on with him recently. But then we went around the ring this week. Obviously, Gia wasn't around; she was on an assignment apparently. We had Gabby Lapisa instead. I don't know her too well, but I believe she's a podcast host of some kind. And she was with, of course, Little brother Ryan Nemeth, and to be honest, I watched some of that interview and I was like, Jesus Christ, this girl's not going to get a word in edgeways with this guy, because he just was like verbal diarrhea, man. He just didn't shut up. But anyway, so that was it.
He loves to talk.
He loves the sound of his own voice, doesn't he? Even though he sounds a bit like a girl, if you ask me. But anyway, in the main event, we had Vipress, who we were just talking about, looked very good against Jody Threat. But Jody gets the win. And after the match, she gives an in-ring promo and a heartfelt goodbye to Danny Luna and, of course, the Spitfire. And she also invited Danny out, and they sort of had a real nice feel-good moment in the ring to end the show. It was pretty good. So, again, we were back to the two fresh match format for Explosion. So well worth checking it out, guys. I quite like Explosion. I like the way when they do a two fresh match one where they do one at the beginning and one at the end. I actually quite like the Explosion, the way they've set it up. I don't like it where they sort of start it off with a golden match or whatever. I can't be dealing with that shit. I've seen it before. And I just think it's a waste of time. I know why they do it, because it's all about getting people to tune into TNA Plus and, reminisce about the old stuff and all the rest of it. But what they need to be doing is they need to be encouraging the stuff that we've got now. I don't mind the Vault stuff if it involves talent that are on the roster. So I don't know, go back and have an Eric Young and Cody Deaner match, or go back and highlight a Rosemary or Decay match with something. Do you know what I mean? Like talent that have been on Eddie Edwards match. Do you know what I'm saying? There's loads you could do with the Wolves, because of Eddie. You know what I mean? There's loads of current talent that you could put on these matches, but they don't. They use it. They a Samoa Joe match, or a Sting match, or all of a sudden they'll bang out an AJ Styles match when they're hinting that AJ's coming back, and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I find it a bit frustrating, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes sometimes. Okay, let's get into Against All Odds, Jay, because time's moving on. I think we've been, I don't know what time it is now. How long have we been going? Probably been going about 45 minutes already.
About 41 minutes right now.
There you go. See, I'm getting good at this, It's because I do these interviews. I got to like mentally understand, figure out when, 18 minutes is up. But there you go. I've worked out. It's about 7 or 8 questions, depending on how much the talent talks. Because sometimes you can ask a question, right? And they'll just go, and they'll go, and they'll go. And you're thinking, shit, I've got another 6 questions to go here. I'm not going to get to them. But yeah, no, it's all good. So we get the Elegance Brands got a hard-fought victory over newly formed tag team Myla Grace Harley Hudson, with, of course, fellow Brit Zaya Brookside. Clearly they wanted to make sure that Elegance Brand are looking strong. But I have to say, Myla Grace, Harley Hudson, Zaya Brookside, they look fantastic. They are so good, and I'm glad that they've put them together. I really am really glad. It's good to see more English or British talent come into TNA. I've heard of a rumor that Subculture are also in negotiations again now, so that's interesting as well. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I thought it was a pretty tidy match. Did you enjoy that one, Jay?
I missed the pre-show, but just the fact that they put all 3, you got Team Elegance against a lot of the newer up and comers with Zaya Brookside. That's a solid match right there.
Yeah, man, totally. And I have to agree with Paul Simmons in the chat there. Spitfire was a great tag team. I loved them. They both worked really well together. They did. I thought they were fantastic, and I think they deserved a longer title run personally. But it is what it is, I guess. But after the match, you would have missed the or the comeback of the Inspiration, because they made their jaw-dropping return to face Team Elegance.
I saw the clip of that, and they look great, and there was a nice pop. And it at first, I recognized the music, but I didn't recognize them. I was like, oh, they're blondes now. So they were brunettes forever. So I thought that was interesting.
They look great, both fantastic shape considering they've had 3 children between them. I think they look fantastic, and they're obviously ready to. Yes, they're obviously ready to go at it again, which is good to see. So yeah, great to have the Inspiration back, and again more international flavour with the Australians involved. So we've now got more British talent, we've got more Australian talent. It's looking good. I mean, with Killer Kelly, we've got the European. I think she's from Portugal or somewhere like that, I believe. So you've got that flavour as well coming in. But then Mustafa Ali backstage. Mustafa Ali demands that Tasha Steele stands in his corner for the match against fellow Order 4 member Jason Hotch tonight. Tasha's on the phone with someone, but who is it? Who could it be? Have you got any thoughts on that, Jay?
There's definitely some stuff brewing with Ali's camp. A lot of nefarious actions on Ali's part towards the rest of his crew. Especially towards Tasha. That's a we've talked about that on our show, and it's I tell you what, look, wrestling is wrestling, but sometimes you see people get put in positions, and it's not comfortable to watch, Bison. It's really not. It's like,
I don't think it's comfortable to watch, and I think the trouble is for me is that because he's obviously of Asian descent as well. I don't know if he's Indian or Pakistani, but I know that he's a practicing. Is he a Sikh, or I don't think he's a Muslim. I think he's a Sikh, isn't he? I believe.
That I don't.
Okay, I know that he's either a Sikh or he's one of them. and he is practicing. I know that because he puts stuff out on the social sometimes. Now, some of these religions are notorious for treating women like second-rate citizens. So to me, it's a little bit close to kind of reality. I'm not saying that he is a misogynist in any way, shape, or form in real life, but the problem that you have is because of his ethnicity. That I think makes it worse, or it makes it come across worse. You see what I mean?
Yeah. It's not just your average Joe, shoving someone across the ring. It's
So
I agree.
I think that's what makes it a little bit less uncomfortable when you see that. A little bit more uncomfortable. But I don't know. I'm not liking it very much, and I'm hoping that he ends up getting his comeuppance at some point, or whoever it is that comes in sorts him out. Do you know what I think it is? So I've forgotten his name, what he's changed his name to, but he's a former WWE World Champion. And I believe he was on Maple Leaf Wrestling recently. He was on, I called him Maple Syrup Wrestling. That on Demores. I've forgotten his name. I can't think what his name is. It's bugging me. But he's big. He's a big dude, big Asian dude.
You talking about the guy that used to be in a stable with McIntyre and Heath?
Was it him potentially?
Back into WWE,
I believe so. But then
the 3-man band.
Yeah, and then he actually went on to become the WWE World Champ or WWE Champion.
Right. That's oh God, I cannot think of his name. Someone in the chat's gonna come up with it.
I can't think of his name either. But I think it's him. Jinder Mahal. That's it.
Jinder. Oh, you're talking about as far as who Tasha was
calling.
That could be.
Yes. But he's not called Jinder Mahal now, is he? He's called something else.
No, it's something else. And who I was actually thinking of was what was that stable that Ali was in? It was like Revolution, but it was something else. They all had masks.
Yeah, man. There's the other one, Cedric Alexander. That's a strong possibility.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's a strong possibility as well.
Yeah, I personally think he's going to AEW, but I could be wrong.
Never know.
But yeah, I was thinking of that tall, lanky guy that he's done some stuff with MLW recently. Dijak.
Oh, okay. Dijak, yeah.
He was in that stable with him too. So yeah, any of those guys, sure. Bring them in. Why not?
Yeah. Retribution was the name.
But yeah, as long as it leads to Jason doing a solo thing, I think that's amazing.
Okay.
Jason Hotch needs bonkers. Thank you. Retribution. I could not think. I was close. I said Revolution.
Yeah.
Just switch some letters.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the stable name Order 4. I think it's really good.
It is. But it's going to quickly become Order 3 or 2 or 1 pretty soon.
Yeah, Limpster's with us. Limpster's joined. You can come in, brother, if you're at home. You're more than welcome to join us. So, and you can definitely get your left tit out if you fancy it. Anyway, moving on. Steph DeLanda vows that Steve Maclin's International Championship is coming to her and Mance Warner tonight. So she got stuck into that. This when we got a bit heavy. We got quite heavy on the promo stuff. Santino Marella speaks on his high stakes match against NXT's Robert Stone. Whoever wins will be the official director of authority, and whoever loses no longer be in TNA. Matt Cardona then reveals that as an impartial free agent, I love the way he plays on the free agent thing, he has been signed as the special referee by TNA management. So we had all of that going on. I think they made a massive thing of this. There's a lot of people not feeling Robert Stone at all, including myself. I kept saying that I just keep calling him Robbie E because to me he's just Robbie E. It doesn't matter what he does; he's just Robbie E. And
I feel you there.
Yeah, I'm not down with him. And Limpster is saying he's given Against All Odds a 9 out of 10. Wow. I mean, I think I gave it about an 8, but it was a good special, really good, especially compared to the previous couple of weeks' impacts. I didn't think we were quite as strong as they could have been, but they were still entertaining, they were still fun, but I just thought it would have been different. He reckons also that Mance will have the TNA belt by the end of 2025. Yeah, Mance era, we'll see. Okay, so Against All Odds then goes on air. We get a fantastic package as always, bringing Against All Odds in. And of course, we start off with the international title match, Steve Maclin versus Mance Warner. After a pretty hard-hitting match, Maclin hits the KIA for the 1-2-3 to regain his title. But man, what a match. Mance Warner is the dog's bollocks, mate. He's great. And against someone as hard hitting and as tough as Steve Maclin, this was a pretty badass match. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, that was a good one. I love what they're doing with Maclin right now. It's this international title definitely does feel special.
I agree.
Especially with a guy like him holding it.
But you see, they've missed a prime opportunity here because wouldn't it have been a really cool idea to have had Steve Maclin defend his international title in Triplemania against a Mexican?
They could, and you never know. They always do last minute stuff like bring people in for like multi-person matches. So don't be surprised if he doesn't get involved in there somehow. Maybe not one-on-one.
But it would have been a great opportunity, wouldn't it, to really showcase the TNA International title against a international.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's just.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still in its infancy, so don't be surprised. There's plenty of time for that to happen in the future.
I hope so, because I think that would be great. I mean, Steve is really legitimizing that title. Yeah. It's a badass title. It looks great. It looks good on Steve. He's doing a fantastic job. But hey,
how about that El Mesias versus Maclin?
Yeah, there you go. That would be incredible. Hey, Hakeem, thanks for joining us, bud. Really enjoyed that. I hope you all enjoyed the video I made with the channel I worked with. We did. It was good. Paul Mapson saying, I'm glad they're finally make a mid-card title look good. They certainly did. Gia Miller interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Gia Miller interviews a very confident Elijah as he prepares for his challenge NXT's Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. That was a nice backstage moment there. I still think they're missing a trick with Elijah. He's not quite what I was hoping he'd be. I don't think they're quite. I don't know. We'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there eventually. I suppose we're just getting used to him as a talent on the roster right now. But I think there's so much more they could do with him. I'd like to see him be a little bit more heely, to be honest. I want to see it. He's a bit sort of kind of wet blanket at the moment, but I want him to go a bit more heely. The Hardys and Leon Slater have recruited, of course, the hometown man from right here in Tampa, Arizona, to be their partner. And after a very lukewarm reception, it did not take very long into the match before the hometown man become very, very over. But yeah, I thought he did a fantastic job, and he's certainly become the hometown hero. But it was definitely Leon Slater who pinned Moose for the 1-2-3 to gain the win over for the Hardys, and of course hometown man and himself over the system. Again, I thought this was a pretty tidy match, and I thought the hometown man is awesome. I am totally down and fully down with the hometown man. I think if they do what they're gonna, if they do with him what I think they're gonna do with him, I'm 100% sold. Hometown man is the next Curry man or Shark Boy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised to see that. I'm kind of indifferent about it right now, just because I had it set in my head that he was on his way out, and I was like, all right, well, he's done. You know, he had a good run, and then he's back, and it's like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, it's him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm sorry, but he was literally over so much within about 3 or 4 minutes of getting into that match. He was like, the crowd were like, hometown man, hometown. They loved it. They absolutely loved him, and I think he's going to do that wherever he goes. And I'm down with it. I think Cody Deaner deserves that kind of that kind of run to end his in-ring career. What do you think?
Put a different mask on in every city he goes to.
Or just see, what I said was, he's got the actual attire, so keep the mask as it is with the HTM on it. You know, keep everything below. The shorts the same, all that colouring of the TNA colours and whatnot look great. But then all he has to do is turn up to every single hometown that they go to with the hometown shirt of, like, I don't know, like the soccer team, the football team, the baseball team, whatever it is, their local hero team, wear their gear, and then he becomes the hometown man. Change the Titantron, change the video package so that instead of it showing, it shows, video packages of that town, as opposed to, just change it to represent that town that they're at that time, and I think he'll be over.
Oh yeah,
It'll work. It'll definitely work. I think it's going to be great. But we then see Tasha Steelz once again talking on the phone to the mystery person. Interestingly enough, I've not heard anything from the taping, so whoever that mystery man is still not arrived, I don't think. Because I think if they had, that would have been all over the socials. You wouldn't be able to miss it. So I think they're going to turn up at a live show. Maybe they'll turn up at Slammiversary. We'll see. Or I believe there's another live Impact planned before Slam. But they don't think they've actually released when it is yet. Mustafa Ali then defeats Jason Hotch after what could arguably be the match of the night. I would certainly say it
was definitely one of my favorites.
It's definitely one of mine. Jason Hotch is incredible. I've seen a lot of his matches. He can promo too. They need to give him a bit more time on the mic. They need to give him a bit more promo stuff backstage. He's good. He is good. This was a great match. Mustafa Ali was fantastic in this match. Like, he was so healy, it was unbelievable. I thought he was great. A lot of people were like, "Oh, he's blah blah," and I'm like, then he's doing exactly what he needs to be doing. If you hate him that much right now, then he's doing a good job. After the match, Ali confronts Skyler for coming to the aid of Hotch. Ali offers his hand to Hotch, but walks away at the last second. I think the good hands are moving away from Order 4 fairly soon. I think they're going to turn on Ali. I'm not sure where it's going to go. I think Tasha will be I think they're all going to turn on Ali in good time. They bring in whoever it is that comes in and he sorts Ali out. I don't know, but something is brewing, and it's going to be a nice slow burn, I think.
I got a feeling it might end up that Ali gets a new crew. It just gets a whole new crew. Maybe keeps the name.
Yeah.
Has a different knockout that he's not knocking around.
Yeah.
And then it's some other tag team or some other some kind of enforcers to back him up. I don't know who. I don't know
exactly. He's just the good hands aren't doing it for him. And look how he treated Champagne Singh. At the end of the day, he just battered the crap out of him at that. Didn't he? At was it Under Siege? Absolutely battered him. Yeah. So that's exactly.
I'll tell you who I'd like to see with Ali if they do go that route, and he gets rid of the great hands and Tasha Steeles and forms new people around him. The former, it's going to be formerly known as AOP.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think they would be perfect for the situation.
Oh yes, big dude.
And I don't know what happened with them in WWE. I didn't hear any reasons why there was anything in particular that they were let go, but I'm pretty sure they're free agents now. So
AOP would be interesting, definitely. Well, we then go backstage, and Gia Miller catches up with the Inspiration, who promised to inspire the Elegance brand. That's interesting. Where that's going to go. We then get Mike Santana is invited to be on First Class Penthouse, but he hasn't arrived to the building. AJ Francis, Casey Navarro brag about costing Santana the TNA World Championship against Trick Williams this past Tuesday on NXT. They continue to insult Santana when he shows up wielding a baseball bat. Santana gains a measure of revenge as he power bombs KC through a table. Francis blindsides Santana, smashing a champagne bottle over his head. Continuing the badassness from First Class, and of course continuing to build Santana into the incredible talent that he is. He's definitely winning the title at Slam. There is no doubt about that. Good segment. What do you think of these Penthouse segments? I think they're good. I enjoy them.
I like them. It definitely adds character. It's good to have these because, like you said, if you're not going to have them wrestling, you definitely want them featured in some way, shape, or form.
Totally.
So
100% agree, and I think it works well. It takes up quite a bit of time sometimes as well, and again, having things like that work well when you need to clear a ring or you need to set up a ring for a hardcore match or something. So these sort of things work well for that sort of stuff. In what was a pretty hard fought and very close matchup for the Knockouts title, Masha eventually gets the win over Lei Young Lee to retain her KO World title. For me, that is her second best match she's had so far. I think the Tessa match is the best that she's had, other than Jordan Grace. Obviously, those matches were just incredible. But Tessa Blanchard was great. This was a really, really good match. And I am big fan of Lei Young Lee. I think she's awesome. She brings something very, very different to the Knockouts division. I love the whole Chinese attire, the way she sort of kind of comes out with her fan, and I think, and she is hard. She's a hard hitting knockout. I don't think I'd like her to hit me. Let's put it that way. But for a small chick, she is tough. She is a tough cookie, and I'm a big fan, big fan. So hopefully at some point she may end up holding that title. You never know. Now after the match, though, Killer Kelly makes her shocking return to the brand as she drops a steel chain at the feet of former tag team partner and enemy Masha Samovich. If you remember, it was Masha who was thought to have injured Kelly to take her off TV. So a little bit of long-term storytelling possibly there. Do you think?
Yeah, that's the thing is I was trying to remember if they were a team or what happened. I mean, obviously I know why Killer Kelly got taken off of TV because she got pregnant. But I was trying to remember like how how they did it, you know. But they were a tag team, weren't they?
Yeah, they were a great tag team, and they were tag champs. They were MK Ultra.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
MK Ultra.
So that's
sexy team.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I could not remember the name of them.
Yeah, because they had some badass matches, if you remember,
MK.
with like they had the match, the collar match on the chain and all that stuff, and that brought them together. And then they had those sort of kind of like kisses and all sorts of stuff, and then they ended up with as MK Ultra.
They were a little
bit risque,
a little sleaze-tastic.
Yes, they were. I can't believe you couldn't remember that.
It's all coming back to me now. It's because I know I got my picture taken with them, in Chicago a couple of years ago, and I was just trying to remember.
There you go, 2-time Knockouts tag team champs. Yeah, they were badass. I loved them. Again,
yeah, there we go.
I was
so
gutted.
I hope
they split up. I was gutted.
I hope they bring them back, and it'll make Masha even more powerful. But I got a feeling, I don't know. It's really hard. It was hard for me to read that segment. Like, she didn't come in and like attack her. She came in, she dropped the chains, and it was like,
I think what she was saying was the chains are off. That's it. What she was saying, there's no more chains. Drop the chain. Bit like Bobby Roode.
Chains
off the chain, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
yeah. See what I'm saying? I think that's what that was. It was laying. It was laying the gauntlet.
Could be
laying the gauntlet. But yeah, so we then go backstage and find a frustrated Mike Santana who's refusing to be treated by the doctor. What was that? Best viewer of boostshine.ru. Is that something we don't want to be clicking on? Surger G77.
What's that?
What's that? In the chat.
Oh, that's in Twitch. Yeah, just ignore that. Just ignore
that. Okay, then
that's one of those things you can click on to try to get more viewers. That's garbage.
Okay, cool. Joe Hendry is finally beaten by Frankie Kazarian in a very entertaining match. I thought this match was really good, and I was actually surprised Frankie finally got the win. I thought Joe, but then obviously I think what they're doing here is they're now going to put Joe on a losing streak so that he kind of gets frustrated or whatever, because I want to see Joe turn heel. We need a heel Joe. And I'll tell you why. In the UK, Joe did a gimmick which was based on Negan from The Walking Dead.
Negan.
Yes,
oh my God.
he
love Negan.
Right. Now, if you can imagine Joe Hendry going all Negan, it would be very interesting, because I think people would see a side to Joe that they didn't know existed in TNA or in the US, because they wouldn't have seen this. And I've seen it. I see it live actually, and it's good. So, yeah, I think this is leading to a heel turn for Joe, which would be great. And you're in for a treat
for Joe Hendry,
and I think it's going to be great. You're going to see a side of Joe Hendry that you never thought was possible, because I've seen his heel side, and trust me, it's good. So,
really,
yeah, I think
it's not. That's interesting, because I've seen the goofy singing side, and that's it.
So yeah, he's a good heel. Trust me. If he goes heel, which I think that's what they're doing. I think they're going to put him on a losing streak every single time he loses. He's going to get more heely. He's going to get more fucked, more pissed, and eventually he's going to end up going heel. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. We're talking weapons. We're talking all sorts. Lucille's going to come out. I'm telling you. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did enjoy seeing Kaz win. I was surprised by it because I did not think, that we'd see Joe lose again this quickly.
No, I think they're doing that. That's definitely what they're doing. They are definitely 100% putting him on a losing streak. I'm telling you. Oh, there you go. Punk's seen it. Joe is great heel in ICW. There you go. He is.
Oh,
He's a heel, man. He's good. I'm telling you.
Okay.
He's definitely. He's not on his way out.
So he sings. He sings you a song on the guitar, and then he takes the guitar and he smashes it over your head.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, there is a possibility he's on his way out of TNA, but he's not going to be on his way out of TNA until 2026. So he's got a long way to go before he goes out. So I don't think that's happening. Not yet. I think he's going to turn heel. We're going to get a heel version of Joe. And then maybe he goes. I don't know. But anyway, during a post-match interview with Jim Miller, Frankie Kazarian rubbed salt into Hendry's wounds, which was quite funny. He got a bit of a boo from the crowd. The crowd weren't impressed, let's put it that way. Robert Stone tries to bribe a special referee for his match tonight, giving Matt Cardona a nice little chunk of a nice little wad of cash, which was interesting. The Nemeth brothers, it was goofy. The Nemeth brothers then defeat the Rascals in their tag title showdown. Now, this was interesting because I don't know. I'm not sure whether this was scripted or not. Trey Miguel did not look very happy at all after that match loss and stormed out of the ring at the end of the match. Did you notice that?
I didn't, but I did hear about that. And my guess is, hey, maybe he had to just quick go pee or something. Sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. Maybe he took a bump and it triggered something in him and was like, ooh, like sometimes you wake up in the morning and you roll around and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think he's the kind of person that would have necessarily no-sold it because he's like pissed off about the
another another title match loss.
The rat. But it is. But you know what? The Rascals are doing great things. They're getting it. They've been involved in NXT storylines, which has gotten them a lot of attention. I think they're developing a whole new fan base because of it, if I had to guess. So am I worried about it? Nah.
No, I'm not saying I'm worried about it. I'm just saying it did seem a little bit kind of just left Zach there.
I hear you. Yeah.
He just literally left Zach there.
Yeah.
I was thinking, right, okay, is this I'm pissed right off moment because of the outcome, or is this they're playing a story out, getting Trey out quick, just leave the arena, make it look like you're pissed off? I don't know. I just felt that it seemed out of place for him to just leave the arena like that. You don't expect that from him.
Yeah, I hear you.
So a bit weird.
Yeah.
Eric Young.
Go on.
You
don't see it a lot.
Yeah.
You don't see it a lot, but
yeah. Eric Young is banned from the building after attacking a fan on TNA Impact the previous night. Young crosses paths with Sami Callihan, and we have a bit of a kind of like crosswords, shall we say? I don't know whether it's crosswords or whether it was just, I don't know. I think Sami was sort of kind of saying, look, come on, mate, you can't do this, blah, blah, type of thing. I don't know what was going down there, but maybe we're going to see some kind of Eric Young and Sami Callihan coming together. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was just another way of showing how unhinged Eric Young really is, because he wasn't making any sense at all.
No.
Like, he was yelling at people that weren't even there. And Sammy, who has been known to be the most unhinged person in the almost decade, was actually trying to level with him. So
yeah, exactly.
So I got a feeling this is going to lead to
the proper Maniac, right? We're going to go full Maniac.
Yeah, Eric's losing it, and he may even turn on his own Northern Army because of it. I don't know. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little confused by it, but if anything, I think we're going to get a good Eric Young, Sami Callihan match out of it, and it's good. We're going to see just how pushed to the edge Eric Young is.
Okay. I like the sound of that. Now, after a pretty fun match, I have to say, Santino with his daughter Ariana Grace at his side eventually beat Robert Stone to retain control of his DOA position of TNA, which was
Dodged a
great.
bullet there.
There was a lot of people that would have been not happy if Robert Stone had won at that moment. I think we were all sweating a little bit, thinking, "Shit, what the fuck are they doing here?" But yeah, Santino back in charge with Ariana Grace by his side, and what a lovely daughter he has, shall we say? Yeah, I like this. After the match, Morella celebrates his victory in a post-match interview with Jim Miller. I enjoyed it. I think it was a great conclusion to what was kind of a rather well, it was a good storyline because everyone was hating Robert Stone big time. So I guess you could say that a lot of people, oh, he's just such an asshole, blah blah blah, he's rubbish. That's, I guess, because that's the role he's playing, and you're buying into the whole that's what you're supposed to think kind of thing. But yeah, no, I think it was a fantastic end conclusion to it all. We got the Cobra, and it was good. It was all good. We loved it. The crowd loved it. The audience went mad. And Santino Marella is back in charge. So we'll see where that goes, I guess. We then had the main event, which saw champion Trick Williams defeat Elijah to retain the TNA World Championships. I actually thought this match was okay. So I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, this was a great match. I think Elijah is proving though that he's pretty solid. He's a pretty solid performer. He could definitely go in the ring. There's no doubt about that. I didn't feel this really set the card alight, and I think maybe it was because I felt like, for instance, I thought the Kazarian Joe Hendry match was more entertaining. I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought that the Hotch and Ali match was incredible, and I really enjoyed Masha versus Ying Lee a lot more than I enjoyed the main event. I don't know what you thought.
Oh, I enjoyed the main event. I think there were other matches that stood out, maybe action wise a little more, but I love the fact, I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, but I was one of the few that I felt like kind of called it and thought that Trick was going to take the title when he did, and he did. And I tell you what, man, Trick's on top of the world right now, and he's on top of TNA, and love him or hate him, I think he's doing a great job. And especially with First Class with him, backing him up, is going to make him even more dangerous. So I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to end, but I'm just enjoying it right now.
Yeah. And,
I'm trying not to look too. I'm trying not to look too far ahead. Some people have already got this all figured out. Like, oh, Santana's going to take it at Bound for Glory in New York or whatever, and it's like, hey, maybe, but
yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet, though. That Slammiversary in New York is going to be a big night for Mike Santana, I'm sure.
Or Slammiversary. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big night. So, but we'll see. I mean, it might not pan out that way, and we might end up with something else, or taking the title off him. But it's certainly going to come at Slammiversary. I'm sure of that. Who it's going to be? Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be someone like Mike Santana. I'm pretty sure of that. Like Punk is enjoying heel Trick Willie. I do as well. I think he is doing a good job. I think he's going to prove to everyone what a top talent he is. And he is good in the ring. You can't deny that. He's very good in the ring and he's good on the mic. So he's got a lot of good qualities, and I think there's a lot of great wrestlers in TNA where he can really, get to have some top long matches and prove how good he is. I think that's probably what this is all about. Is Trick Williams potentially a top tier Raw SmackDown talent? And I think
in the long run, absolutely.
I think
and this is only going to help prep him to get to that point.
Exactly. I think he's doing a good job, and fair play to him. And I people are like, oh, why would you put putting your title on another company's talent and blah blah blah. Come on, guys. We all know that this is predetermined. There's a story. They know where they're going with it. Just have faith, and you'll see where it all goes.
Right.
Let's talk about hello Gibster. Nice to see you, mate. This Thursday on Impact. Let's have a look forward to what we've got to come. So let's get rid of let's have a talk about what we would class as the non-wrestling stuff first. So we're going to hear from Mance and Steph. I'm not sure what we're going to hear from them. I'm sure it's going to be related to the international title of some way, shape, or form. Apparently, Steve Maclin's also going to be sounding off, so I got a funny feeling that that's going to tie in together somehow. We've also got another first-class penthouse featuring NXT and TNA World Champion Trick Williams. So that should be interesting. We've got that. We've got Jason Hotch versus Leon Slater. Need I say more?
Oh, man. That's going to be wild.
That is a match I've been waiting for, man. I think that is going to be an absolute barn burner of a match. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fantastic. We've also got the Hardys versus First Class in a tag team clash. That should be interesting. I'm assuming that will be to set up a title match. I should imagine, possibly the winners of that get a title match, maybe. Or if it sort of ends in a DQ of some sort, or maybe Trilliums gets involved and helps First Class win the match. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think on that one?
On which one?
The Hardys versus First Class.
Oh, that's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. We got Jeff back with Matt, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll tell you what I'm actually looking forward to more. And I was just scrolling down the old TNA Twitter page. Is this
4-2-1 match?
Or
knockout
8-for-1 match. Yeah,
the 8-for-1 match. So we've got Rosemary, Danny Luna, Tessa Blanchard, Tasha Steeles, Jody Threat, Indy Hartwell, Zaya Brookside, and of course the incredible Killer Kelly.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be crazy. I like 8-for-1 matches. I think they're really good. Got a lot of time for them. So it's good. So I can't remember. I'm trying to remember who's on each team for the first 8 thing. I think it was possibly. You've probably got it there actually. So you had. I think Rosemary. No, sorry. I think Indy Hartwell. I think it's Jody Threat. Possibly Zaya Brookside and Killer Kelly is on one side.
Yeah.
And I think it's Tessa, Danny, Steeles, and Zaya on the other, I think. Am I right?
Yeah. I believe so, yeah.
That's not bad from memory. So that's your 4-on-4 to start it all off. And then obviously you've got all 4 of them. Then it all becomes a 4. Everyone for themselves for a match, and then obviously you get your winner at the end of it. So yeah, it should be good, man. I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm not sure what the main event's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be the Hardys versus First Class.
Yeah, it certainly could be. I'm trying to scroll down the page and see what I can find, and I only found those two, so we'll see.
There's about I mean, at the moment, from what we can see, I could only find 3 actual matches that are set for tomorrow night. Now, normally they have 4 or 5.
There's going to be a big Steve Maclin segment, so we're probably going to see a new feud form. It says TNA International Champion Steve Maclin sounds off Thursday.
Yeah, you've got Santino Morello who's going to open the show as well.
Hotch versus Slater. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a crazy.
That is sick.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a. Someone was saying, Gibson was saying, I'd like to see Hotch and Slater as a tag team. I have to say, and I've been saying it for so long now, I don't understand why they're not signing Dyrese. Because, or at least bring him in for a 6-month program to see how he does. I mean, I know that they've obviously got their heart set on putting the X Division title on Slater, but you bring in Dyrese, and all of a sudden you've got a great singles competitor, but you've also got the option of putting him with Slater, and you've got a tag team of Boisterous Behavior, who are incredible.
Yeah, I've seen clips of them, and I've heard nothing but positive about them. So yeah,
Dyrese is awesome, right? And I actually saw him perform again. Just before we went on holiday. It's actually the Sunday before we went on holiday on the Monday. We went to a Wrestle Carnival show, and Dyrese was there. He won the title at the end. He is so good. Like when he comes out and raps his own theme tune and all that, he's just brilliant. He is exactly the type of talent that goes down well on TNA. He really is, because he's got charisma. He's good on the mic. He's a great in-ring competitor. He raps his own entrance music and stuff. He gets the crowd involved. He's great, and he's definitely the type of talent that would do well in TNA. So they need to sign him. They really do. But there you go. But guys, listen. That's all we've got time for this week. Can I just say also, if you want to support the show, the TNI, obviously UK team, please feel free to drop us a super sticker or head over to prowrestlingtees.com to tell us about Impact for some great t-shirts that we've got on there, or also head over to our exclusive Spreadshirt merch store. The links, of course, are all in the description below, or I think you can access the Spreadshirt store via our YouTube channel, so go and check that out as well. Some really good stuff on there, including impacted logo stuff, so go and check that out if you're interested in that. And there's also Bison stuff on there as well. All of it's on there, so it's well worth checking it out, guys. Go and check that out. And of course,
lots of beefalo,
loads of beefalo on there, and of course every penny helps us to continue putting this channel out, and giving you content each and every week. So it's really important that you do that. All TNI shows are also available. Listen on the Go Fans audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, choose wherever list your favorite shows, as mentioned at the top of the show. Where can we find you on the social medias, Jay?
You can find me on the old Twitter box at jbone5150, and you can also find me Thursday nights, same channel, just a little later in the day, and covering all things TNA with a live reaction and then a review to follow. And you can also find me over on that other little podcast called Ramblers Unleashed. So please, if you want to see more of my content that I'm involved in, it's a great way to help support me, and go check out that other podcast, because we talk TNA, but we talk all sorts of wrestling as well, including AEW, WWE, and whatever else is going on in the wrestling news world. So yeah, go check it out.
Cool. And of course, if you want to follow TNI on the socials, we're pretty much available everywhere at We Talk Impact. You will find us on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the Twitter. We're pretty much everywhere. So go and check that out at We Talk Impact. That's where you'll find us. Thank you very much, Courtney. I appreciate it. And of course, if you want to find a little bit more about me and you want to follow me on the socials, you will find me on the Twitter sphere at Lord Bison 45. That's where you'll find me. And of course, also on the TikTok, where you can follow my fitness journey at Bison by Design. As I said, I will be very much, I'm getting closer and closer to bringing out my new gym and casual clothing wear brand. So, keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm having a website built right now. Oh, thanks, Gibster. Thank you very much, buddy. So I'm getting closer and closer.
Much love, brother.
Closer and closer to releasing the Bison by Design brand, which will, once the website's done, I'm in the process of getting someone to build it. So we will get there as soon as we can.
Nice.
But guys, I'll send you some stuff over, Jay, later so you can see it. Please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle. Yes, a squeeze. And of course, a smash to never miss any of the great content coming out from the US and, of course, the US teams each and every week. And, of course, we are related to TNA. That's what we do. So make sure that you check us out every single week. And, of course, if you know anybody that's a TNA fan, you need to let them know about it. So you need to share. Yeah, you need to tell everybody. This is the place for TNA content. Make sure you get there. Everybody know about it. With all that said, of course, I've been Bison. He has been the boss, J-Bone. And, of course, this has been episode 234 of Impacted. Take care, guys.
See ya.